Will machines be taking over the world?
This is my 2 cents.
Everyone's talking about the fourth industrial revolution, and you might be pondering, your own relevance in a time where machines are set to take over our jobs. I want to share 3 things with you that I learned from my days as a game pilot. Now, I learned these 3 lessons the first 3 days on the job. And there's an interesting connection between animal behavior as well as human behavior and even machine behavior. Yes, machines do have a behavior. They behave like we program them to behave. So day 1 on the job, and I get called to catch a herd of Yellin. Now, luckily for me, Yellin are very herd-orientated animals, and they are very easy to catch. I took off with my little helicopter, and I saw a herd of Yellin, and I started gently irritating them with the helicopter towards the capture boma. They all just follow a single leader, and they run straight into the boma, and it took me all of about 20 minutes to capture the whole herd. I sat there pondering, don't us humans also behave similarly? We follow the herd without thinking, automatically doing things that others are doing. So I started doing some research as to why this is happening. And I found out something interesting that a bunch of scientists stumbled upon at the University of Parma in Italy. They discovered a neuron called the mirror neuron. And what this mirror neuron does is it fires in 2 ways. The first way is if I'm doing an action. So if you're seeing me scratching my arm like this, those mirror neurons are firing in my brain. The interesting fact is that the exact same mirror neurons are also firing in your brain. This allows the human brain to adopt another brain's point of view. And this way, accidental discoveries can be spread horizontally very quickly through the human population. So it's these mirror neurons that make us following a leader or just doing something because everyone is doing it. So on day 2, I had nothing much to do but walk around like a tourist. I stumbled upon the enclosure where they actually kept the Yellin. Climbed up the ladder and started taking pictures. To my horror, the Yellin started horning each other. They wanted to kill each other. So this was quite an interesting phenomenon for me as well. So under stress, immediately what they do is they attack one another. So as human beings, don't we do the same thing? I mean, if you're under stress, who's the first person that you take it out on? Your life partner, your wife, your husband. So this makes animals as well as humans behave very predictably under stressful situations. So what happens? I want you to think back on the last time you were upset. Just think back to that situation and replay it in your head. Immediately you will feel your throat tightening, your heartbeat is picking up, you might be perspiring a little bit. All of those feelings and emotions are coming back to you. So what's happening to you? Your body's being flooded with a stress hormone called cortisol. So as your brain gets flooded with cortisol, you go into fight, flight, please or appease mode. If the argument escalates, and we've all watched YouTube videos of people behaving very badly in traffic, it can escalate to a point where it feels like you're losing control. And what's basically happened is your body has been hijacked by these cortisol hormones. The problem with fighting and especially winning is as soon as you win an argument, your brain gets filled with dopamine, the feel-good hormone. And you basically get addicted to arguing and winning. The more you argue, the better you get at it. The more you win, the more dopamine. And the vicious cycle continues until muscle memory kicks in, and that's all you do. You just, walk around and looking for an argument. And we all know those kind of people. Don't be that person. So on day 3, I woke up early in the morning and they said to me, well, you're going to chase some more Yellin. So I thought, that's going to be easy. To my surprise, the Yellin now actually know where this capture boma is. They know that there's some kind of danger there. So I was battling to get them in the boma and into the truck. The boma is basically made up of these plastic tarpaulin sides basically suspended on wires. They're not connected to the ground, which means that at any time any of the Yellin can challenge this plastic and simply run through. They don't do it. Why not? Because they have this preconceived notion that this is an impenetrable barrier. Their world basically ends there. So the animals are simply reacting to what they think is true. As I was battling to chase the animals into the truck, I was hovering too close to these tarpaulins, and what happened was the downwash of the helicopter basically blew up the curtains, and it only took one Yellin to challenge and run through it. And all of them realized that it wasn't an impenetrable barrier. They can just simply run through, and that's what they did, and they all escaped. Sit down before fact as a little child. Be prepared to give up every preconceived notion, or you shall learn nothing. So sit down before fact as a child. Children believe anything you tell them. They believe in the tooth fairy. As adults, we have the preconceived notion that they don't exist. So what Thomas Henry Huxley is actually telling us is we should become like little children again. We should open our mind, clear it of all preconceived notions so that we can start learning. So people react to three things in life: fact, feelings, and faith. So facts are undisputed. Facts are a constant straight line. But what about feelings and faith? So feelings, emotions go up and down like a sine curve. Your faith, in other words, what you believe to be true, your preconceived notions, also go up and down. So depending where you are on the curve, you might react differently. So make sure when you react, don't automate your reactions because of where you are on the faith or feelings curve. Make sure you are reacting to fact. Machines can simulate and automate certain actions, but they don't have empathy, which means that anything that cannot be automated or simulated or taken over by artificial intelligence will become extremely valuable. Things like EQ. A machine cannot determine another human being's needs simply because they cannot put themselves into another person's shoes. They don't have that empathy. As human beings, we are predisposed to automatic reactions, just like machines are programmed to automatically react to certain situations. Our machine coding is just in the form of either mirror neurons or hormones or preconceived notions. But as human beings, you have a brain. You can fight those. And if you don't, you will become obsolete.